Daybreak continues nonstop at 6.
Good morning, Western New York. I'm Lauren Hall. It's 6 o'clock, and here's some of the stories that we're following for you this morning. Dangerous illnesses are sending teenagers to hospitals, and it's all linked to vaping. Plus, the new school year is set to start. One district is making itself more welcoming to therapy dogs. And the decision that has this year's Wingfest dipped in controversy, and it's all about ranch. Those headlines are just ahead, but first, your Storm Team 2 forecast with meteorologist Jen Stanonis. Jen, after all that rain and flooding yesterday, I'm sure a lot of people are hoping for a dry one out there today. We have new information just into the newsroom about a crash we've been telling you about all morning. We now know it was deadly. This is on the North Grand Island Bridge. It's the southbound lanes of the 190 just before the bridge. They're all closed right now. All traffic is being diverted off the highway. We are told a car flipped on the ramp from the Niagara Scenic Parkway. New York State Police confirm that the crash is fatal. They haven't released any other details. As soon as we learn more, we'll continue to update you. Now to a health alert for parents. We've been telling you about teens ending up in hospitals across the country with illnesses linked to vaping. Now we've learned that there are at least 8 of those cases here in Western New York. Daybreak's Heather Lee joins us this morning with the details. Heather, good morning. Thank you, Heather. There is also research on another potential danger of e-cigarettes. A study from the University of Pennsylvania indicated vaping just once can start to hurt your health, even without nicotine. Researchers looked at 31 non-smokers who took puffs from an e-cig with no nicotine and then went into an MRI machine. They found that just one use reduced blood flow in the main artery that brings blood into the legs, as well as the blood vessels in that artery. This morning, a stretch of Ellicott Street between Chippewa and St. Michael's is still closed to traffic in downtown Buffalo. It's all because of a partial building collapse. This is in the building that houses Two Wheels Bakery and Cafe next to Toutant Restaurant. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it came as a shock for the folks at the dog daycare next door, where bricks came crashing down.
Ran out to the street and everybody's looking up at the roof. So there was the wall collapsed right over one of our dog areas. So we immediately took the dogs outside and put them in the yard.
Again, this is on Ellicott Street between Chippewa and St. Michael's Place. It will be closed down until it's declared safe. We'll let you know when it reopens. Today, the Erie County District Attorney plans to discuss the new red flag law before it takes effect this weekend. The new law will allow firearms to be seized with permission from a state Supreme Court justice. That's even if the person has not been charged with a crime. The person must be considered a potential threat to themselves or others. DA John Flynn will talk about the new law at 10 o'clock this morning. Also today, the Army veteran who was found with a number of weapons outside North Tonawanda City Hall will be in court. Timothy Payne is facing gun charges. He is currently living with his mother as this case moves forward. Payne has been suffering through mental health issues leading up to the incident. And a former Erie County health inspector faces up to 2 years in prison after admitting to faking dozens of restaurant inspections. Timothy Bean took a plea deal back in June for 14 counts of official misconduct rather than any felony charges. Bean is set to be sentenced in county court this morning at 9:30. It looks like there's more momentum behind the plans to expand the Metro Rail up to UB's North Campus. The NFTA says it's completed environmental review process, and now it's looking for input from you. They've posted a survey asking people for their thoughts on things like station designs, bike lanes, and crosswalks. This is all leading up to next month's public meeting, and you can check it out and vote for all the questions with a story that we have posted on WGRZ.com. 4 months after a student died in an alleged hazing incident, UB has lifted its suspension on most fraternities and sororities. Now, when we say most, we mean that all of them except Sigma Pi can operate, but they're not allowed to recruit new members until they meet certain conditions. Sigma Pi remains suspended as Buffalo police continue to investigate the death of 18-year-old Sebastian Serafin Bazan. He passed away earlier this year at a frat house on Custer Street near UB North. That decision comes just days before the new semester is set to begin. Today, a number of colleges and universities around Western New York will welcome new students to campus. This morning, freshmen will begin moving into dorms at both Buff State and Canisius. Most colleges in the area begin classes first thing Monday morning. And some big news for the Williamsville School District as they prepare for the new school year. The district approved a new policy that will bring therapy dogs to its schools on a regular basis. Will East Principal Brian Swatland says he knows therapy dogs can positively impact students because he's seen it firsthand. The school previously took part in a pilot program with Paws for Love through the SPCA. Based on the success of that program, the Board of Education has approved the new policy, which changes the definition of a therapy dog.
It's for any school in the district, and it's really up to the building's needs, and if there's a person in the building that chooses to adopt a dog and train a dog and go through the therapy dog process, then they would qualify to be able to bring their dog into the building.
Swatland tells us the first pet will have to go through the necessary steps to become a therapy dog. The policy also addresses people who might have allergies to make sure all students and faculty are covered under this. To see the full policy, just visit our website, WGRZ.com. And before the school year gets underway, the Independent Health Foundation is trying to help kids start on the right foot. The foundation gave away backpacks and school supplies to hundreds of kids in Buffalo last night at its Good for the Neighborhood event. It's to help those families who have a hard time affording everything their kids need to be the best students they can be.
You have your pencils, you have your paper, you have your notebooks, you have your notepads. So there's rulers, there's glue sticks.
Good for the Neighborhood is also a chance for kids and their parents to learn healthy habits heading into the new school year. And we are celebrating Western New York this morning. At least we think they are. Get this. They are getting ready for another year of Wingfest down at Thalen Field this year, every Labor Day, of course. But lo and behold, this year's event is ripe with controversy. Remember a few weeks back when Wing King Drew Cerza was promising something new that would make us think he lost his mind? Well, now we know there are plenty of people that are shocked that ranch dressing will be included this year. Here's what he has to say.
59% of consumers out there in a study from the National Chicken Council prefer ranch. Now have no fear. Marie's Blue Cheese dressing will be here. We'll still be bobbing for wings and blue cheese. We know Buffalo is a blue cheese town, but again, I'm asked all the time about ranch dressing. Can we get ranch dressing at the Wingfest? And we are.
All right, you heard it from him. The good news is that Hidden Valley Ranch will be making donations to the food bank at Feed More Western New York to make up for all this controversy. The festival, ranch and all, starts a week from Saturday. And Jen's outside right now, starting the day on the rooftop. It's looking like it's going to be a beautiful morning, Jen. Much better than what we were seeing at this time 24 hours ago. Coming up next on Daybreak, Facebook is working harder to protect your privacy. We'll explain the new feature that they are unveiling. Plus, what can't she do? U.S. soccer star Carly Lloyd gives American football a try, and spoiler alert, she absolutely crushes it. Welcome back. It's time for a look at the roads now for your Thursday morning ride into work. We're going to head over to our friends at the NFTA. Thanks, Dave. It's 6:58 on Daybreak, and some big news for your online privacy this morning. Facebook is launching a new way to control personal data. It allows users to delete their past browsing history and stop Facebook from keeping track of anything in the future. That means you won't see those targeted ads for things you've searched for in the past, but you have to turn it off. Otherwise, it will continue to track any online activity. There's no definitive launch date just yet. Apple's credit card is officially available across the country this morning. If you want it, you can apply for it right through the Wallet app on your iPhone. The Apple Card, in partnership with Goldman Sachs, has no annual, late, or over-the-limit fees attached. It's open to all eligible customers. You just need to have an iPhone 6 or later. And for those who still believe cash is king, today is National Tooth Fairy Day. And yes, that is somehow a real thing. They deserve a day too, right? And according to Delta Dental, the tooth fairy might be falling on hard times. The average payout for a lost tooth is currently $3.70, which isn't bad. But consider that at this time last year, it was well over $4, $4.13 to be exact. And now it's time for a look at what's trending this morning. You may have seen this on your Twitter feed over the last couple days. This is the trend. You go to this website, you input your birth date, and then it looks up what the #1 song was on your 12th birthday, and that is considered to be the theme song for your life. So of course we had to look up ours. We're going to start with Melissa and Heather Lee. They had the same birthday, which means that on their 12th birthday, the #1 song was Boyz II Men's I'll Make Love to You. We'll move on from that one fast. That got us thinking about everyone else, of course. Pete's theme song is You Light Up My Life by Debbie Boone. Love that, back in 1977. And our producer Dan's theme song is My Boo by Usher and Alicia Keys. That is one of my all-time favorite jams, Dan. All right, well, a lot of people who are football fans wonder if they would ever be able to make an NFL regulation field goal, and now Carly Lloyd never has to wonder that again. Of course, she is a two-time soccer champ, but look what she did yesterday. This was at a joint practice for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens. She really made an impression when she visited. After practice, she lined up for a field goal, and she put on quite a show. Lloyd is a huge Eagles fan and is just taking aim at a narrow set of practice goalposts with video to prove it. That was a 55-yard field goal. Good for her. And this is bizarre. A Florida woman who says she got a whole lot more than she bargained for after taking her dog to the groomer. She wanted the golden doodle to get a buzz cut and a nail trim and ear and teeth cleaning, but look at Lola. Look how she came out. She came out with dyed green eyebrows and pink ears. Very angry, understandably. The woman contacted the salon for a full refund. As for the groomer, she said this was all a misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding is this? What do we think here? Fair or foul, Jen?